Under enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice, I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge. May all sentient happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings in spiritual suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings
the great earth, filled with the smell of incense, covered with a blanket of flowers, the great mountain, the four continents, wearing the jewel of the sun. In my mind, I mention thy paradise of the Buddha, and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world.
분석에 저원들 몇고 타인도에 와꾸면서 많이 시제지신 집에도 자기에 또 대랑 그이셔서 야 다들이 맞소다 발람진의 제니양 진디 지금 말에 오늘다 좀비 동고대 기대 희생인데 지 송간에 녀요 말에 본부진보다 라마 전부근 지야 텐데 개요 말에 랑긴 배수진에 소고고 아래 딘디가라 지 남배중도 소소 심기대기 두산 두루 시거 딘디가라 지 녀세 지가 니갈로네 아니 가르치고 알아서 들어가라 군놈데 펜비sem지 군일란지 아니 녀세 지기나 오늘 팬도 여름 지나는 거 가는 게도
So we are gathering here after for a while, and the purpose of this gathering or teaching is seeking happiness of the mind. And obviously, as you know, inner happiness is something that we cannot buy from the market, that we cannot receive from lamas or leaders. And in Buddhist understanding, in Buddhism, we are seeking, how to attain that kind of happiness, the ways, technique, and for that, it is important from both sides, listeners as well as speaker, to have a good intention, as always emphasized by His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
다든지 니가라 지 군론데 sembasambo 장주기 sem기심바 디 우구구에 뜨가라 지 장주기 sem신데 시부지다 랍첨보 다지 된다에 장주기 sem데라 율을 댐바는 zon데 아니 강 율된기 율을 댐베 강사티기 풍보디야 지 장주기 sem기 루풍지다 아니 yulden kanzade janju sepa seya jida oda ngone mine binyande zob sangi kobang singde latil jabana jin chakaware tindigala shibujita ngone za chenbu chadeore oda di janju ki semde yula maden na tendawade ne be semgi ki thordu tang zob sangi kobang singde molam teba samjita 아니 지님 보진 넘바 삼기 오다 계지게 담듯이 두야면 세부시부레스
And that kind of motivation of kind-heartedness and motivation of bodhicitta or altruistic mind or awakening mind is something that is immensely sacred, and somebody who possesses this kind of qualification or state of mind, bodhicitta or altruistic mind, the body of the person also becomes very sacred. And those practitioners are called bodhicitta, bodhisattvas, noble beings. And for those practitioners, attaining of enlightenment is something that they have sort of naturally in their palm of the hand, easy to grasp. And without having that kind of awakening mind or bodhicitta, it is impossible to attain ultimate happiness, state of Buddhahood. Simply making prayers and talking nice things about altruism and awakening mind doesn't help us to accomplish or to attain that kind of state of mind.
오다 ngazo 차차이나 다 꼬라이나 다 덤번데이나 때 초수비 연락지 차디오래 때니 왜야 말해서 순거 말해 주고 말해 때니가라 초수비 연락 차디오래 초수비 연락에 류일터부 푸드 중하대 장주기 셈들이스 뒤니가 장주기 셈신데 진든 쿠르기비 니지 군이라네 아니 장주기 셈데 귤에 깨야지 마도 니지 밀밤 미는 마장라 장주기 셈신데 귤에 깨 매야데 깨자게 담바리스
And practices such as prostrations and recitations and chantings, these are all considered as the part of the practice of accumulations, positive merits. But among the many different technique methods of accumulations of positive merits, the highest form or the best or the supreme is the generation of altruistic mind itself, or bodhicitta. And that bodhicitta must come from thoughts of benefiting other sentient beings with the proper objective nature of the mind of compassion.
다 딘디 니가랑아란조 즉 원에 진든 두야데 다 장주기 셈셈에 때 용과래 진든 세야데 또 미남제 진든이 진기기 냥데인 라스기도와 진 둥을 타탈에 돌니 상기 고방라 gond데지기 아니 덴디질라 아니 진든 두가 터두데 따티 차디오래 내가 말한서 저 풍근라 와티야 미 롱아인데간라 람테야 미에네 깜바메 껴달라얀 로제야 되게 진든 차고래 진든 팔바르면다 진든 쪼데 말해 진든 쪼데 생기기 뉴몽봇 시진 리바당 뉴몽빈 리바팅이 아니 셀탑치는 배 람지텐 디 셀탑제네 아니 미네빈 양된 거에게 탑람질라 아니 땡투에이나 와다 진든 탑도 람땡게니 때 자고래스
other sentient beings, as said earlier, the highest and the best form is altruistic mind itself, bodhicitta. And in fact, we find this kind of mention of, when talking about benefiting others, the ultimate way of benefiting other is attaining of liberation in the mind of others. And that is the ultimate or the best, form of benefiting others. Of course, you can benefit others through many different ways, such as, helping blind people to, walking across the street, or helping handicapped. But these are all as compared to, showing or teaching altruism. These are all others becomes kind of ordinary. And so the ultimate, the highest form of benefiting others is through, guiding through altruism, awakening mind, or bodhicitta, which primarily targets afflictions or obscurations, whether it be cognitive or afflictive, and helping others to eliminate afflictions in their mind and showing the right path, so that eventually that leads to the attainment of liberation.
고tatendeki janchuki semde yongala kargore janchuki semsiende kandichil munzinchune dumba nildengi semchi sigore dumba nildengi semsiade kandichil sigore tati semde kandichil sigore se labeina ta jindun 소장 고야라 뭐니 남주 첨부 애니베 즉디 시티 판탄 발루 인윤디 판탄 발루 대수 차상 랑라 코트 주바 시바지고 와래 디용라 애니 미니베 냥데 토퉁에 젠데등인 dum바타 미니베 냥데 토퉁에 에상 미니베 냥데레 미베 두바지고 와래 랑 젠다와 영어라 랑상이 고방 맞춤나 젠다와 람친지 말로바 땡야지다 냥데 미니비 냥데레 젠 고투야 땡 자와니네 메소라 데인다 랑 상이 고방 톰딩인 둠바데 쫀 둠바데 윤 둠바데 쫀 둠바데 아니 젠 상이 근데긴 둠바데 와타 윤 둠바데상 쫀 둠바 니제니 윤 둠바데게 쪼쪼 니제 미남 장네 두부아지 쫀dum바 조 취럽도 남제기 세럽기 담배 dum바 차래 딘딘라 가지 니지 셈전레미 아니 세럽기 장출레미 세된 dum바팅이 왜 버도 고고아레스 상와지고라 장주기 셈세거레스 셈전라
Altruism or bodhicitta, when we look at the meaning of that, word, we find, it is composed of two aspiration or dual aspiration. The first one is one must have, what we called immediate cause or seed. That is attaining of enlightenment for oneself, or Buddhahood for oneself, aspiration to attain enlightenment. And subordinate or accompanying kind of factor, the second one is, in order to do that, one must have understanding, knowledge, intelligence, such as how to purify and eliminate two obscurations, cognitive and afflictive cognitions, and one must have those kind of understanding or intelligence. So that becomes subordinate or accompanying factor, and the immediate cause is mainly the result of compassionate mind, while accompanying kind of or subordinate factor is the result of wisdom, understanding the nature of reality. So another way of saying is that compassionate mind, the object of observation, is other sentient beings, while wisdom mind or wisdom understanding of reality aims at the attaining of enlightenment.
오다 된디죠. 딱 굴릉 간디지나 가와 간디지나. 오다 된디 셈지지나 장주기 셈지지면 굴릉 세겨와레스. 딘디기 주마 친지기 딱 오니 살탭제니 산노다네니 예 시침보레스.
So whatever positive virtuous activities that you create, when you create with this kind of intention or motivation or forces, then that act or action kind of becomes, becomes, combination of or headed by, the altruism or awakening mind, even if that kind of action or motivation is kind of not genuine.
오다 된디 니가라다 주인세 지디간라 내기 좀 순다 달고는 연구가래 내 카부베견 내 띠마징기견 내 잡드교생 견 순다 달고가래스.
Teachings, from the listener's side, one must kind of be free from three kinds of, fallacies. Using a metaphor, the first one being a vase kept upside down, second, tainted vase, and third, vase with the hole at the bottom.
오다 내 띠마진세 간디거라나 아니 갱바당 마갈당 간지 단진 꾸린라베 뇨모징기 셈지단 데니 아니 주인님바이나 년세 가르치베나 띠내 띠마진 차바레스.
Tainted, vessel or vase refers to listeners coming with the a thought influenced by, self-grasping thoughts, such as it could be arrogance, it could be haughtiness, it could be pride.
네 카부 바시디갈라 다 쉐랄지 요아이난다 삼로 젬바시타 까자 가르치게다 유님 예 맞지 삼로디 젬바질 따네 에니페 코르데나 에니 간지 셰바테 고고고아레 고아데 닝이 다다지 마운드 나라 망게 차도아레 오다티 에니 네 카부 비현레스.
And to utensil or vase kept upside down is like, physically you are in the teaching hall, but mentally you are not, you are somewhere else. So that doesn't serve the purpose. You are not kind of, receiving or getting what has been said.
다 네 잡들 왔을 아니 직 년바 간실라 아니 파기 쟁의 왕도 송되네 아니 다에 시 저라는 데베 갑돌라 야 다자 대기 가르쳐 라바데 아니 양교 꺄르도 텐스 마다체 아니 베 제바이나 디펜다 용고 말에 어땠네 잡들 왔 간지 쟁의 왕도 담아세 틸 소텔 문지지거레스.
And a third one, hole at the bottom, refers to, listening very well during the teaching, but later, going under the influence of forgetting and, not having any kind of information in your thought, or, whatever you have listened is already forgotten.
어다 년루데야 아니 가라고 거서는 아주 괜데서 갱완님에서 배 아니 배 그 신인 담바대서 가르송도잖아 아니 리단 달래 잡아나 진짜 나시디 때네 아니 니시들 최시세네 배파지 에디 따제네도 신냐버나 중도에 시다 리단 달래 잡아내 년구르잖아 디 갈비하는 양도는 있는 것도
The mode of listening to teachings, as our senior teachers, especially teachers like Yang Anima, used to say that, use the metaphor of, deers listening to music. They were fully, in full attention, giving complete kind of, attention to the teaching, or in this metaphor case, to the music.
오다 되니 인데가라 되니 시지데 시부지 자 전부 차디어래 뭐니 배 강쟁기 아니베 에 두배 고방 통보를 쓰잖아요. 에 야지 개방 물주 토매상 보스의 공기 송전난 차게 오다 송된지 자 전부 차디어래 장주 세바시 또 장주 세바 냠는 제다 루제나 된신 숨주 수드는 뒤인데긴지 오다 된지 차디어래 시부지 자 전부 차디어래.
The topic that we are studying today or going through today is a very sacred, and it's a text by one of the great Tibetan scholar and practitioner who have attained high realization, Thongmen Sangpo. And in the text, as you know, it is presented through 37 points on the practice of bodhicitta.
아니 되니인데가라다 물추 세대 위장절라 사자직이 민그리 공 중율당 공기 냠제나서 또 물추리 졸라 냠제나 장주심 투기를 총대게 베기에는 베 시작이 다 뭐니 야세세야 장주심 투기를 총인상 야와샤가 투박이 세리 세대 두스지네 장주 세바달라 야세세데 센터에도 두스레스 다 도매 장보도 권한 생문이들
His the entire or full name of the author in your book, it just says Thongmen Sangpo. That is his most common name. But before that, we find two other kind of name in Tibetan, beginning with Ngulchu. Ngulchu is the name of the place in central Tibet where he was from. And then Ngulchu, then Gyaltse is the next name. Gyaltse means, literally it means prince, referring to the somebody who possess practice of bodhicitta, and they become sort of equal to son of Buddhas, therefore a prince of the prince. And then the second two name Thongmen Sangpo is just kind of the regular or common name. So in Tibetan we find Ngulchu, Gyaltse, Thongmen Sangpo, full name.
오다 네 유사데 겨름지 주인스 겨름지 유사데 아니 가르사 둥구 킨증이 수수가는 것도 와 오다 때인데가라 즉 윤대양 원에다가 즉 원에 뒤긴다 도매 장분이 단다버도 바르마체 봐요래 오다 경고를 미치니 간디지메다 즉 아주 주모어 전분이나 나오네 농아 리네 딱 센리대 잡아도 수치네 토밤에 네 오다 기부담바 풀도 좀 전분이나 답에 남자인데 그지 다 자디어레스 다 가와상보 때니지거니 소소 유야이고 고갑라 그래 다 소소 탑게라 소소 셔랍 멤버즈나민도 장전 멤버즈나민도 간제 주체
about the lineage transmissions of this text, Kishila received these teachings from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and His Holiness received this same teaching from another great Tibetan master, Digu Khyentse Rinpoche, continuous lineage from the author himself. And no need to mention about His Holiness, truly a great scholar and practitioners of both sutra as well as tantric practices, and highly knowledgeable in modern scientific understanding as well. So, great intelligence scholar practitioner, and so he has this very auspicious opportunity to receive teachings from His Holiness. but unfortunately, because of lacking his own intelligence, he hasn't been able to understood every depth of this text.
오다 소소 유자의 콘도머치 유자의 마시비가노 몽방망부지 자예요래 소소를 캥바케기 포바 댄자와니니 민도 인디가라 소소 오네 마시비 데네 노르 용 시그리 오다 인디가라 gemgormujin deshe yore te maimba keba mabin deshe yore te loji ningi nurugi na ti in bagine jambagi in be sungsha ka te da zo zo zonjin tunshi je rang nyamne je goda ke chimbore is.
So because of his not able to understand completely in depth of this text, definitely there would be not knowing of everything, and therefore not sufficient explanation, and because of not knowing it in depth, definitely there's no arrogance or pride from his side. And there are many different commentaries if you want to look at for this short text, beginning with the commentary by His Holiness himself, and there are commentaries by many other scholars and practitioners as well, and he will do his best in explaining the root text. And at the same time, if there are some that is more complicated or difficult, we can definitely use different commentaries.
단 니인고들라 나무 아리아 로키 shiraya 세데다 시티요레 디 산스크리트 시차디요레 다 저규제셔마도 던기로 말해 어다 뒤인디가라 산스크리트 자고에 규제인데 가르잖아 지니 깰라 빠자쳐 접체도레 깨딩오네 좀 된데 주베 갑라 오네 대바침이 중다 상하게 중데 Sanskrit thola sunga mato Pali thola gunu sunga mares ni theba thumo jung de Pali thola yonda chene tape mi chizona mangche te jagar te di Pali te mi yote mete kwaji insang ko dus chene yonda chene sungre ta theba chimi jung de gita sanga jung mi namche chen mi lepa chen mi ngone tenji mato yese mete 고 셰나 고 과메긴지 샤인사 체마도 산스크리트 토라송레 좀 된데 랑기 뒤인데 깨디 라이크 깨서데 깨디 시작에 자치 못지거래 아니 깨디 치지더니 아니 배 돈다 망보지 과요 내긴 규례 규르투야요 내기 어다 때네 깨참 깨 자치 못차래 어다 이 깨들라 빠자자야 따다라 고텔 산스크리트 게 자과 유전지 때레스 유전지 중국강라 두바 나진지 남바 상게 비준데 나렌테 케바 반디다 때주게 아니 제바레 또 좀된데기 숭 케바 반디다 남주 인데긴 데지 델책 때문에 아니페 된데 니 템바 피타보 짜침보 양다바지레 사텐디 중국 군도 사디지 도스치니 고바니요레스 데로와
Your text begins with the Sanskrit word Namo Lokeshwara. The translation in your book says that I pay heartfelt homage to you, Lokeshwara. You have true compassion extending to all. Or in a short form, I'm looking at another translation to homage to Lokeshwara. The reason why we have Sanskrit at the beginning of the text is here we can say a twofold reason. The first one is in order to have or to leave mental imprints or latencies with the language itself. The Sanskrit language is considered as the language of God or enlightened beings. When we look back into history, we find teachings of greater vehicle and Vaishyayanas were taught in Sanskrit, not the other more mundane ordinary language of Pali, while other ordinary teachings were primarily taught in Pali language. And so language itself is considered as a very sacred, very highly sophisticated. In one words, you can have many different interpretations. The second reason here, we can say that it kind of reflects the authenticity of the origin of teachings. It goes all back to the great masters of Nalanda universities. Metaphorically, we say that it's kind of going back to the origin of the river. So therefore, it kind of authenticates the teaching being true teachings of great masters, and then tracing back to Buddha himself.
What Namuluki Shreya said, any Pogele Gurunda, Jite Wanju le Chatsalo said, Guria than the Shaka on those, any Papa Jerizilla Chatsalo said, Gurian those, what are they? Gang Gurina, Capra Gunioma, Zozo, Jerizi, Nishizu to the Canary. Jite Wanchu, Sedigala, Mone ya, Jerizi Zusutun de Genjila, any Lagujil and Jite Wanchu said the Sigore. Kanji Jerizi Ning Nam Tanshiri, Jite Wanchu see there. What at the Nidala, Tele, Yan Geranzo, in Devat and Damida, the Karina, some younger, the zoo, some Gomares. Lokeshwara
can be translated into generosity, the Tibetan word, Buddha of compassion. We also see another word, the protector of the world. Basically, both means or refers to the same thing. And when looking at the different commentaries in Tibetan, you might find different interpretations of what this Lokeshwara refers to.
What are those rays? Ta Munita Mujitome Zambo Rangi ta Chujuk de Dires. Gang Chukun Rong Mezika, Roeton la Chitu Zonzebe. Lama Chota Chiri Zingola, Tato Gusum could be Chatsalo, the Watate, Kongita Dire. 다 강기 죽은 롱 미지강 세대가라 오늘 가르쳐고래 바기 단다 군불루주기 우마린제 타외나 가바바메 깨메바 제바메바 사메바 오메면 로메바 타데되면 띵지메 저번이지 질던바 담바텔라 차살로 저 숨어 나진지네 아니 가찰라 저래야지 아니 바기 니질라 저래한도 데와텐데나 어다 가찰라 저바이나 경거름지 망체 가찰라 저네 숭기 가찰라 저바이나 덴버투베 거니 덴버투베 지요 말에 덴버투베 타데요 말에 덴버투베 로아요 말에 오아요 말에 가 두스체네 같이 타겔레 저거레스 어다 로메지강 덴버투베 거네 로아도 오아다 인지다 타데 까요 말에 세시거레스 곧 간다나 렌지 them gacha kona dendu means the ji the tade yongya kona yo mares wada rueton le ji du zonze ba lama chodan jiri jingol la se ngoni ta be kanjang ge ngoni garsoore bagi chugyo namsum ni zude chugyal komati kiti ani gyawa kujar kunarin chen wada tanda kujon jujiba chemba bardo ta ngoni be kanjang ge ani be 직 가르쳐거래. 취시 니게 돈에 다 개 의규 봐. 제리지 넘버를 봐셔지 중인사. 어다 공단계 사벨라마 있대야. 어다 된리게 제리지 남줄. 어다 때라 아니 무지 돈에 잠보랑게 루이 나이 숨기고네 오숨네 아니 차체기 세야. 어다 고든 된리지리.
We begin with the homage of the by author himself. Since we are using this book, we will be. I'll be reading this book. Tape them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you say briefly that we had these?
Yeah, you can say.
Okay. We had copies of these made for everybody. We're asking if you can a $4 donation for the cost of copying them. So.
So it's on page 5. If you are familiar with the translators here, this is by Alexander Burden. So expect translations to be long, which it's helpful in terms of understanding the meaning. But I'm looking just to your reference. I'm looking at another translation. It has only 4 sentences for one word, so while in Burden's you will see 8. So so I will read this since we all have the same book. To those who in every coming and going have seen that each thing is inherently void, and thus can devote both their time and their efforts with one aim in mind, let me benefit all. To such foremost gurus and you, Lokeshvara, all-seeing protector, with utmost respect, I bow down before you in constant obeisance and turn to your service my thoughts, words, and deeds. 2 points here. The first is every coming and going. Inherently void. Every coming and going is inherently void. In other translation, it's very short. It says lack coming and going. So there is no inherently coming and going. What does this means is, for more detailed understanding, you can look to Nagarjuna's text, Fundamental Wisdom. In that text, he talks about inherently lacking of negation, coming, going, and he has kind of 8 list or 8 points of and likewise here there's coming and going. It's a matter of translation. In Burden's it is more precise. It exactly translated inherently void, but in other translation it doesn't. So generally, coming and going, lacking of coming and going can be interpreted in related to the lack of inherent existence, and in some text it is interpreted in related to the compassion. So there are different ways of interpretations of what exactly lack of coming and going. So here, the geshala, the Jurjo geshala.
No.
Then the Jurdi in Alola, Jurdi Ringbudo Shudu, and the Inji Jurdi Nalo, and the geshala son, and she Jurno Koran, Pu told that Drom Messi Jam and Jimus Yomara, the Nalola, any Tundamgi, any Yomariland, the original Jurchazan, Jurnal, Tunda, the Tunguro Cheshire.
What the payover?
Then do Tanzania Koran to deal
with the Mama Himalayan Judical and Injim GD Park of the Canada.
So I was just kind of informing Geshe-la about different translations.
Tundams the Galayang, Tundams here the year is for you. Gachala Tundam Jachi, any Chunil Tundam Jachi, then I think Gacha Tundam is your ace.
This book, His Holiness also, advised to print this book because of this more kind of detailed or more specific interpretations, have seen that each thing is inherently void. That doesn't actually appear in Tibetan, though. In the meaning it does, but not the actual literally. So his Holiness kind of advised, and he prefers this translation to, and therefore he kind of advised to print his copy in teachings in Ladakh. So inherently void, can also again, interpret it in terms of objective negation, or in terms of true nature of phenomena. So here, basically, according to the translation, coming and going refers to lack of inherently coming or lack of inherently going. That's the first point here. And the second point, to such foremost gurus and you, Lokeshwara, all-seeing protector, with utmost respect, I bow down before you in constant obeisance and turn to your service my thoughts, words, and deeds. So basically, also, Thongme Sangpo, his root teacher being, Lokeshwara, Buddha of compassion, and in the lineage kind of history in Tibet, beginning with the Dharma kings, religious kings, and later lineages of the His Holiness the Dalai Lama. All of those were considered or believed to be the emanation, therefore manifestations of the generosity. So he is paying his deep respect, utmost respect, to all seeing protectors, Lokeshwara, his foremost gurus, through his body, his speech, and his mind.
오다 이게 차대 이 라도 당와 애니베 chanchu기 니지당 제리지기 연된 통원에 애니 대빠지게나 일라 레매죠 다모 쉬우지 온 거래 거다디 다수 대빠 몽대자 말에 이 라도 당왕 건데 다음에 대빠지고 거래 이 대빠디
paying a respect.
다음에 대빠디 이기 잘했어. 아니 lui ene be talmo jur ene be dim jane ne lui ge gone chati lui gi cha ene nga ne ene be jeri tonga jola so ba changa jola so ba 되게 nga gi cha dosin lunga isum gi cha yore wada tindi gele cha chedu gala chadan chelu da yang so so ji kyawa ngama ge ma so taminda lui lang de yore wada tega so so ene be yang 단데 온제나 진짜 아니 점바티기티 교황감이 되기티 아니 배 루이 로아 리두고 루소소소소소 임발라 아니 남바데 마시톤과 미나바 아니 배 나진제네 아니 배 디주기 강갈은 차차야 양한테만 임바 카접기 심진 삼제 살 때문에 아니 심진 삼제게 라나년도 차차야 와다 두스지니 굴론제 두스제바이나 Sunam lacha sagora, pembache yores.
Paying homage or salutation of respect through speech, body, speech, and mind. Physically, as many of you know, salutation is done through folding your hand and then beginning from the tip of your hand, and you do actual kind of physical prostrations. Verbally, you can recite appreciations, chanting of your, your guru, your root lama, and mentally generating a pure, genuine faith. Here, faith refers to, with seeing the positive qualities of your root teacher and Lokeshwara here, and then generating a sense of pure kind of joy or respect or aspiration or so based on kind of actual understanding of the positive qualities. And when you do this, different salutations or homage, you can have visualizations through which you can create more positive merits than regular ones. So in your visualizations, you can imagine that you yourself is kind of chant master, while your previous and past many lifetime, whatever rebirth might be, you visualize those kind of in the form or in the nature of human being and chanting along with you, and showing or offering a homage. And or you can visualize all sentient beings together with you, prostrating or chanting or reciting. So with those kind of practice, you can immensely multiply the positive merits that you create.
Can you say those last two again? Those last two examples of the visualization.
First one, Geshe-la said, you visualize yourself as a chant master, and then you are kind of surrounded by your own previous rebirth. It could be any it could be a form of animal or whatever, but you visualize all in a kind of physically whatever being, but by nature kind of in the human form. So and the second one is not just by yourself, but all other sentient beings together.
This is me, but you want to see now to Gala Chaka to let the Nangus. Think was on Yaman Jegutigal, Yaman Jisukanga Jargina, Dinasa, Sinala Salvo Maris, those Chini Jargina, was some side pengirism.
These ways of visualizations are mentioned in the preliminary practices in the Kagyu tradition, although we don't see those mentioned here, but if you apply those and implement, as said earlier, would be immensely beneficial in kind of multiplying positive merits.
Also, Sonam Saguares, Sonam Sadigala, Chawachevashi Kanjila, Sonam Lachas and Minum, me by catches that to win a Yagores.
In accumulations of positive merits, that's the purpose here. It would be far better, the more you can extend, the foundation, or the broadened the field on which you accumulate positive merits.
Ni only don't need to be set up sini. Depend when you saw the Ingurand, waiting you body, don't need to be set up. Shitty when you bomb into as a carchevery. There's some rich tangudo. Sonam lapchimbo may. Sonam lapchin is some matumna. Don't need to be set up the shitty union bond to go on, Mary. Sonam lapchimbo sala, me by catchamo minum, catchamo in the game. Janjuki sem is in Bajuar. Tinduka, Capertua, Tigini, Tini Caperton Udua. Jaza Yan Tabas of a Sangi Cobantovala, Sol Lapuches of War, Sol Lapus Zobala, Semke Mena Sol. Janjuki sem Gula Machina, Salt in the Lapuches Wire, then sawing in your money. Yet you get them by your money, that is touch about it. Tindugala, Janjuki sem Pagin, Jessica Juntenala, Soyang, Digazo, Dibayang, Digan, Jang the Sundo, Janjuki Semgi, Panshe on Dugala. What a thing on a Janjuki Semdi? Halibi Minam, Kajik Semji. Tamjel mean the game, Dumala Kundigi Logi. What a Sawa Niji Tendijinza, Diwang Jung de Inza, me by Gachambu Shabaris. The Indian Labchimbo South Warriors.
Although emptiness, wisdom is considered as the direct antidote for afflictions and delusions, but we need to think why understanding of emptiness alone does not insufficient to serve as the antidote for cognitive obscuration. In order to have or make wisdom realizing emptiness or emptiness wisdom to become an antidote for cognitive obscuration, it must be accompanied by practice of altruism or awakening mind. And for the practice of altruism, what is required is immense accumulations of positive merits, and immense accumulations of positive merits is done by generating altruism or awakening mind, and without altruism or awakening mind, it is impossible to attain, Buddhahood. So, in fact, in the practice of altruism or awakening mind, there's an expression saying that altruism alone can, accumulate positive merits. Altruism alone can purify all kinds of obscurations. So there's a great emphasis on the importance of the practice of altruism or bodhicitta. And because altruism, when it look out, its target or object of observations includes every sentient beings. Therefore, the target object becomes extremely broad, vast, and with that, whatever positive merits that accumulates becomes extremely broad and extensive.
다 소지 적겠어.
We'll take a break here.